Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I'm finally making a much delayed video. I'm outside here on my patio, and welcome to all my previous subscribers and my new subscribers. And I hope you enjoy a little bit of my story that I have to tell on my podcast today. Um, oh, by the way, I found out this is something you have to do. You have to beg and ask. Please, please subscribe. And on your way out or on your way in, give me a thumbs up for my podcast. Um, I would be much appreciative of it. I definitely need it if I'm going to continue to do videos. Uh, it's just something you have to do. Okay, so by the way, in case you don't know, and first time you're ever seeing me, my name is Consuelo. Uh, I guess you would call me, I'm the one who manages uh, Consuelo Viola's daughter podcast or video. You might see on some of these um, crocheting venues. And I wanted to explain first off that I have a slight name change, and it's not really a major change in my name, but I noticed some people have noticed it today. Uh, what I did was I had Viola's daughter included in my first name tag, but now I've taken out all the other stuff I had on there and just put Consuelo Viola's daughter. And obviously, as it says, and what it means is that I am Viola's daughter, or one of her daughters. She had three of us. And Viola, my mom, you say Viola. Somebody asked me, how do you say it? And we said Viola. And the funny thing is, my mother raised me, nurtured me, and guided me um, to what I am today. So you could blame it on her. But I'm already getting out of that if I can. Um, she she was a modern lady for her times. I was raised in the 50s and early 60s as a young child. I was actually the 50s, almost like Leave It to Beaver. Uh, in those days, very few cars. Kids played out in the street, and we actually played with a ball. And a lot of things didn't exist that, normal things for today. So, but seriously, what I would like to tell you is, and why I included her in the name tag, because my mother was a special person. We all think our mothers are a special person, and they are, because they're mothers, and they put up with us at the worst time of our life. And so what I was thinking is, she's the one who taught me how to crochet, amongst other things. I was thinking back, I guess one day when I was crocheting, how patient she was, how she didn't have a negative attitude. If she was correcting you, you never knew she was correcting you. She might get a little quiet, but other than that, she never said, "Oh, you big dummy," or something like that. She just would go, uh, phrase it nicely and help you out. So I wanted to give her honor since it was her. Actually, in conjunction with my mother-in-law, believe it or not. I love my mother-in-law. They taught me how to crochet. Both of them had different styles. My mother-in-law being very Europeanish in her manner, and my mother being I guess, a Southern belle type of lady. So, like what I actually wrote notes today, so you'll be proud of me. I actually have my notes. That's even more to be proud of, because I usually write them and then I forget them, or I leave them in the place where I can't get my hands on them or remember them at all. But today I have them in front of me. So she didn't like, she was actually a modern lady for the 50s. Those days the ladies wore aprons and they didn't go to work, a lot of them. At least mine didn't, and all the ladies on my block didn't. But my mom was kind of modern. She did things on her own. She traveled when she wanted to travel. My father wouldn't dare stop her. Um, she went to work sporadically when she wanted to, in secret, and my father wouldn't stop her. So she didn't. The funniest thing was she thought her name was old-fashioned, and I guess it is. Um, you don't meet too many Violas anymore, and so I wanted to honor her. That's pretty much what I wanted to do. I wanted to honor her. The lady, she was all of 4'9", but she was a powerhouse. When she was around, you knew she was around. She raised five of us. She took care of her home. She took care of her family and her husband. She waited on him hand and foot, even when she was working. And around when I was around 8 or 9, she decides that, oh, I'm going to become a nurse, which she was doing already. But she says, oh, I'm going to become a nurse. And she went to nursing school and became a nurse. She had a license in the state of New York, yeah. And the funny thing was, um, she became like 911 for the neighborhood. And then anytime somebody fell down, they had a miscarriage, they had a heart attack and fell down, or sprain, car accident, whatever, they would come running to our house and go get my mom. It could be day, it could be night, didn't matter. We were used to it. We were used to being interrupted during dinner. Because in those days, believe it or not, I am aging myself, in the 1950s, New York hadn't really implemented 911 yet. They were just about to, but they hadn't. So they would just run across the street and run into our house and go get my mother. And she would stabilize people until the EMS came. Now, I said New York, so it sometimes was a little bit of time passed before they ever made it to our house or their house. So my mom was the nurse for the neighborhood. And up until the 1980s, she was still doing that. I have a good friend and neighbor who still to this day talks about how she helped my neighbor's daughter with a spider bite, which she must have been allergic to or something, and she started swelling. And my mother took care of it, and it wasn't issued for the hospital anymore. And I'm gonna tell you something really funny. Although my mom was a nurse, um, we were brought up holistically. I guess that's what the word is now. She used organic materials and products and plants or whatever, um, alcohol, anything, sugar, onions, potatoes, whatever. She had all kinds of treatments for us. And I don't remember going to the doctor very often because we didn't have to. You know, you had a cough, mom had a way of making cough syrup, and in a day or two, the cough was gone. If you had a fever, even if you were very young, she had a treatment that didn't interfere or tampered with your health. So we didn't go to the doctor that very often. Up until maybe my 50s, I started going to the doctor on a regular basis because I just was a healthy son of a gun. And that could be a good thing, and I guess it could be bad. But that's the way we were brought up. And a lot of the treatments that she used on us, I used on my kids, and they worked, you know. But she was a nurse. So luckily, none of us had anything really serious, I guess, that, uh, resulted in hospitalization. So I guess I'm glad for that. I didn't get medication and antibiotics and all those things that we now finding out is not so good for you. But I didn't get that. And let me look at my notes because I'm sure I'm going to ramble on and forget what I was going to say. And basically, what I wanted to tell you, I am honoring my mom, and that's why I called it Viola's daughter. I'm proud that she was my mother. She was a strong lady, even though she was petite and very, very short, as I am too. Ursula would love this. Ursula from OM, G. Well, actually, it's OM Granny Square. Yeah. She always seems to get upset when she finds out how short we all are. I'm short too. Sorry, Ursula, but that's that's the way it happened. I'm actually the tallest one in my family of all the girls, and I'm only 5'1". So obviously we all are short. the, uh, so that's why I changed my name. I think I mentioned it before. I might not have, but I intended it to mention that I was going to put my mother's name in my channel if I should continue on, and I plan on continuing, making a couple of more videos, uh, and it won't be about my mother. They'll be about crocheting because that's my first love. I love to crochet. I think I told you that before. Um, I really love to crochet. I've done it for years on and off, and I'm going to keep this one short. This is going to be a very short video because I just wanted to mention about, um, the fact that I did change my name and why I included it as Viola's daughter, which I think is pretty obvious. If I was the daughter of somebody, I'm probably, you know, child of somebody. But I want to thank everybody for bearing with me through my rough stages of videoing and making those stories that are trying to divulge something about myself, so at least you'll know where I'm coming from. Because you'll probably find out that I'm a bit zany, um, even when I don't intend to be. But I just wanted to let everybody know why I changed my name. I actually shortened it because it was a bit long, and Viola's daughter used to like fall out of the screen. They couldn't even fit it in. My name is so long. So I shortened my name and added my mother's name. I'm out here in New Jersey on my deck, um, and I just started finally, late as usual, just finally got some plants in. And these are actually my trees on this side, or the trees that were in my house that I moved out here. One of them is 9.5 feet tall. Luckily, I have tall ceilings in my house, and but I don't think next year I'll be. I cut it. I actually cut 3 feet off of my tree, and in the over the winter it gained 2.5, maybe 2.5 feet. Came back on there, so I still have a 9 foot tree, almost 9 foot. I think it's a little less than 9 feet. Let me show you. Let's see if I can turn it a little bit. That's part of it. I can't even show you the top. I'll tilt it because I'm afraid my camera will fall off. You see how it still keeps going, going, going. And it takes two people to get it outside and two people to bring it back in the house every winter. And the funny thing, it's not even my tree. It's my son, my youngest son's tree. When he lost his first apartment or moved out of his first apartment, he said, "Mom, watch this until I get a new apartment." I said, "Sure." That was about 10, 11 years ago, of course. And so from 3 feet to 9 feet, that's the tree. So it goes outside every summer and comes back in every winter. Um, that's the good thing about trees. They don't take a lot of care, and it's really hard to kill them. And just water them every now and then and make sure they fit in the pot that they're in. So basically, um, it was a gorgeous day, and I wanted to come outside. So I used this excuse to make the video out here. And I hope to make another video real soon. Maybe I'll do it tonight, and then this way I'll have something ready for another day. So like I said, I'm going to say goodbye. Um, and thank you everybody for coming by or listening to my rambling. And like I said, I was trying to let you know a little bit more about myself. Um, it's not that unique, but here it is. That's the story, and that's what I have to tell you. So thank you again for coming by. And like I told you, I'm working on my tagline. I don't have one. We're all stealing Granny D's tagline, just be sweet and don't get ugly. And that works for everybody, no matter what country we're in, no matter what we do. That works for the world, and maybe we should all follow that. And for now, Granny D, I'm going to use it to close out. And bye now. Talk to you later. Bye bye.